Hey there, Desorganizados, I am Trace, and thank you so much for watching. Earlier this week, my studio was not ready to go, but then I went to Twitter and I asked anyone if they would be interested in seeing this new space that I have constructed for us, and I fully expected y'all to say, nah, we just want the science, but wow, the poll results were so clear you wanted to see our space. So that meant I had to spend this week cleaning because, you know, company is coming. I was totally stressed out about finishing unpacking the studio over the last couple of weeks and also making videos for y'all, so it just made me so happy that you wanted to see this space that I put so much of my time and effort into. On top of that, I think it's really fun to share this whole process because I don't know about you, but I had to learn a lot in order to do this, and sometimes I feel like I know nothing. So let's go through everything throughout this video. If you have comments or questions, feel free to tweet them at me, put them down in the comments. I want to be clear, I don't always know what I'm doing. I mean, not 100% every time I do anything. I mean, nobody does, but we're all in the dark until we learn more. I know how to research and learn and to try new things and to ask people questions. And one of my 2020 goals is to learn to be better at asking for help. And I know some people believe it's taboo to say, I don't know, but that's how I have built this whole career. I don't know things, so I learn them. And I am sure there are 50 things in this studio that are bothering someone who knows more than me, and I am encouraging you. Leave a comment, splain me, berate me, talk down to me, whatever you feel like, condescend. You're not gonna hurt my feelings. I have been on the internet for long enough that, you know, I opened myself up to this. Okay, here we go. I'm just so excited to show off all of this stuff that I put together. And of course, you know me, I cannot not learn something, so I want to be clear that I learned a lot over the last 18 months putting all of this together and figuring it all out. So let's kick into it. Welcome to my studio. I've only been here about 3 weeks, but I've done my best to make it feel like a home. My studio is in the second bedroom of my new Los Angeles apartment, and before these bookshelves, they were in my living room. So this is already pretty different. And for the shelves, I literally took everything off of them in the old apartment. I took photos of every shelf documenting where everything was, and then we deconstructed them and reconstructed them here in this space. It's pretty great that it turned out as well as it did. I mean, it almost looks exactly the same. It seems unreal sometimes when I look at it because even the green chair that was in our old house is still here. But as much as I'd love to talk about the shelves and everything, this is a studio tour, and the studio is actually, well, I mean, it's actually behind you because this is the equipment. So hold on, let me figure this out. Okay, so turn you around. Here we go. Ta-da! This is the setup. We've got a monitor, a teleprompter, there's a camera back in there, there's a little light here, we've got a microphone, and this is how I make uno dos of Trace every time I sit down to talk to you all. So let me walk you through everything that's happening right here. I took a little B-roll earlier. Let me do that. Working from the outside in, we've got a Glide Gear TMP100 teleprompter with 70/30 beam splitter glass and original iPad Pro running the display. The script actually syncs off of my iPhone, which sits here on a little thingy, and the iPhone is running Teleprompt 3 Plus, which is probably the best teleprompter app that I have found to use. None of them are perfect, but this one can sync with Google and Dropbox and iCloud, as well as copying and pasting and direct syncing all sorts of stuff. And if I can just put stuff into a Google Doc and then have it automatically update on the device, I'm gonna do that, even though there are a bunch of other options. Then I just mirror my iPad and I'm shooting, and this sold me right there. Behind the glass is a Sony a6500 running at 4K, 24 frames per second, and a Sigma 16mm prime lens on the front of it. Because of the a6500 APS-C crop sensor, it's actually functionally 25mm. I have a bunch of lenses and I've tried a lot of different ones over the years. Maybe you've noticed that things have gotten a lot better over time. The Sony 16mm wasn't super clear, it had some soft spots in it, and the Hasselblad 18200 was super nice. I also used a Sony 50mm for a while, but had to put the camera on the other side of the room, which was not the best idea. But the Sigma here is just so much clearer. It lets me actually reach the equipment so that I can, you know, manipulate stuff if I need to. It's so clear, it is crazy pants. If Sony decides to release a new 7 series camera this year, I will probably upgrade. I like to play with a full frame sensor, and my hope would be that they'll do the same thing they've done with their other cameras in the recent years, and that is a 6K sensor that outputs 4K of video. But at the moment I'm happy with my 6500. It was a 4K upgrade from my 6000. Funny story about why I'm using Sony. I actually inherited this Minolta camera from my granddad, including a bunch of Minolta lenses. And since Sony and Minolta are essentially the same thing now, the A-mount lenses that I got with my Minolta camera, I can use on these alphas with just a small adapter. Another reason the camera might shut off is overheating. The A6 series have some known heat issues stemming from the NP-FW50 batteries. They're kind of small, and shooting 4K for 25 minutes draws a lot of power out of them all at once. Remember, batteries use a chemical reaction to produce voltage, so that chemical reaction is exothermic, meaning it's generating heat, and the heat can damage the camera sensor over time, or the camera itself, or the battery. So I just ditch the batteries and I go with the Sony ACPW20. No batteries means less heat, which is great because I'm hacking the camera and I don't want to ruin it. Let me just boot this back up again here. The whole camera is sitting on an ePhotoInc fancier FT717. It's an American company. They're based out of Hayward, but it's got those like imported from other places prices. It's nice, it's solid, it's affordable. I actually really like this tripod. It's not like super fancy, but it does the job. Since we're pointing at it, you can see here, this is actually my audio setup. I capture my audio separately using a Tascam 60D Mark II. The Tascam I picked because I wanted it to be future-proofed. As you can see, I'm not actually using XLR cables, even though there is a lot of advantages to doing that. I don't have any XLR gear. The Tascam has a 4-channel input, 2 XLRs, and 1 mini jack that shares between 2 different channels, 3 and 4. And I really love the sound quality, and it helps when it's connected to the Rode video mic. And I've had this for a little while. I got it as a gift, actually. Thank you, Ken. It sounds lovely, and it has built-in low-cut filters, which is why you can't hear my Hillary Clinton server, which if you point yourself over here, you can see I have a little Synology, which I use to store things, and also run Homebridge, which allows me to connect even weird Wi-Fi plugs to the network here at home. So I can say stuff like, hey Siri, turn off the softbox. And it turns off my lights. Anyway, it is awesome. I actually should have affiliate links set up. Hopefully I do by the time this video comes out. You can actually buy some of this stuff and get a little money sent my way from Uncle Jeff, which would be super nice of you. For lighting, I'm going with a newer 480 LED panel. I used to use 2, but now I'm going for a more dramatic look. Get these shadows over here, you know, that kind of thing. I have version 1. Now they have digital temperature controls for version 2, but these are all analog. And I don't mess with them once I've got them dialed in, so it just kind of sits up there and it's fine. Now that I'm in an enclosed setup, like not in my living room, I have my own room for this stuff, I don't have to break everything down every time I shoot, which is a huge benefit for me. It actually means that I can attach this light to the wall so I can move it around when I shoot videos, and that means I get 2 different looks with the same light, or 3 different looks, and that is amazing. Maybe you remember 3-point lighting from your film classes, and in my case I actually ignore that. I'm just using 2 points, the newer for the key and then a clamp lamp for the hair light. It's got a hue light bulb in it so I can change the color if I want. So maybe you remember that 3-point lighting scenario. Obviously I'm out of focus now, the camera doesn't know where I am. So as you can see, I can use actually different setups and I can make different looks. I haven't been able to actually play with this much yet, but the hue light is diffused so it spreads around over my shoulders, which is great. And they're not all hue. I try different brands and I bring them all together with the HomeKit plus Homebridge and the Synology that I mentioned earlier. Okay, so that's shooting and recording. Let's talk a little bit about my desk, which is that way. So this is my desk and my workstation. I am here every day and I'm actually super loving this new space and this new desk. On top of the desk is a tricked out 2017 iMac Pro. I got the 3 GHz 10-core Intel Xeon W processor with 64 gig of system RAM, and then a Radeon Pro Vega 64 with 16 gig of video RAM. I could have probably gone further, but I'm not rich, so I make these videos for free. This computer was already at the tippy top of my budget. I used some of my grandmother's inheritance and got a really good Apple discount just to get this one. So someday I will absolutely upgrade, and that's why I do things like Patreon and I sell ads. For example, on this show, Skillshare is the major sponsor of this episode. So when you watch the Google ads or you try products like Skillshare, I get a little money and it goes towards stuff like the things you see in this room. So if you care or support, join Nebula, join my Patreon. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I use a Dell 2K display as a secondary monitor that I bought off of a friend used, and I put it on a Jarvis monitor arm so that I didn't have the stand on the desk, and that really frees it up to be used for other stuff or just look less cluttered. And then the whole computer sits on a TwelveSouth TwelveSouth HiRise Pro, which is actually one of my favorite accessories. I know it's kind of weird because it's just like literally a chunk of metal with a wood panel on the front. The wood panel is magnetic and it hides the base. It also allows me to keep portable hard drives hidden away, and there are a lot of those. It's also really good for ergonomics because as a tall person, I need to be able to have the monitor up so I'm not looking down all the time, which is really helpful. Then here on the edge of the computer is the Satechi USB-C hub. It mounts right under the computer and it twists to kind of attach in there. It matches the space gray finish so well. It's super great. And I dump so much footage and audio all at the same time, so I don't have to awkwardly reach behind the computer to do it now. And that is incredible. I cannot tell you how much better my workflow is since getting this little thing. And you can see plugged in right now is the SanDisk Extreme Pro 2TB SSD, and it is wicked fast. I can use it because I can hop from the USB-C here on the iMac and go to my MacBook Pro when I edit on the go, like on a plane or in a coffee shop. This is a 15-inch MacBook Pro from 2018. It's a 2.6 gigahertz 6-core Intel i7. It's got 32 gig of RAM on the system and a Radeon Pro 560X on board. Upgrades, again, always possible. I am not Marquez. You know, maybe someday I'll be that cool. I actually really like the touch bar on this Mac, but only because I'm using Better Touch Tool and Golden Chaos's touch bar replacement. I cannot recommend it more. If you have a touch bar, go download those things. You can make custom touch bars and custom touch bar buttons, but Golden Chaos is an amazing place to start. It tells me my upcoming calendar appointments, lets me rearrange windows, get CPU information, message handoffs, weather, and a whole bunch of other tools at a glance, and it works with a bunch of other apps like Slack, and so I just get my messages, little notifications right there on the touch bar. It's fantastic. And it also does the stupid like emoji things and some of the other stuff that the regular touch bar does, like volume. If you want to turn the volume up and down, you literally just do 3 fingers for brightness, 2 fingers for volume, and slide them. I don't know why Apple didn't think of this. It's amazing. And all of this sits on this Jarvis standing desk. It's beautiful, it's made of bamboo, and it can go so high and still be really stable. I keep the desk at over 45 inches, and I get that extra height because I'm kind of tall, so it maxes out at over 50 inches of height rather than a little bit lower. I don't do that max height often. It's, you know, not as stable, obviously, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't want to type like this, but it's awesome to get the desk out of the way for cleaning or tucking the chair underneath or doing cable management, which I've done some of, and that way we can actually use this room to sleep guests in here. I was told by my fiance that was a requirement. I didn't mention the Elgato Stream Deck yet. It's a fully customizable keypad with animated and colorful keys. It also can be triggered by varying apps. It's really useful for editing and also, you know, music and hue lights, and again, fully customizable, so there's so much you can do with it. Combined with a little program called Command Post makes Final Cut Pro editing even faster than it already is. There is absolutely nothing like the feeling of being organized. I know a lot of people say cluttered desks make for more creative people, but I'm pretty creative. But I write at coffee shops or out in the world where the chaos is. When I'm here at home, I want to be editing, shooting, or doing the business side of things, and that means I like things organized in their place. And I have my own system. You don't have to use my system, and I know what you're thinking. Trace, isn't it easier just to copy someone else's system? Not really. You want to make up your own because you'll have little pain points when you try and force somebody else's stuff to play by your rule book. I used a bunch of apps and tools to try and be more productive. We can have a future video about that. But let me let you in on a little secret. You can actually build your own productivity system thanks to Skillshare. Skillshare is an online community of creative learners who teach each other new skills like graphic design, habit formation, marketing, business, web development, video, music production. They even have tips on how to craft or better pick out art. It's super awesome. I really like it. Once you head over there, you can get 2 months free with this link, and you should try my friend Thomas Frank's class on building your own productivity system. And there is nothing like knowing where things are without having to guess or rummage through drawers. Oh, I love being organized. I'm actually getting goosebumps just thinking about it. So try Thomas's class and you can learn all about how to create your own productivity system. It's super great. He's awesome. And it's just one of the hundreds of educational moments you can get on Skillshare for free. And when you do that, let me know so I can thank you, because trying Skillshare actually supports the show. And I'm always online searching for how-tos and trying to discover new ways to do things for video editing or DIY stuff, or about literally all the equipment we're talking about. But whereas before I went and just randomly searched, now I just go to Skillshare. So join Skillshare with my link. Again, you'll get 2 months of premium membership for free, and after that it's only $10 a month to keep it rolling. Skillshare loves creative and curious people who are lifelong learners, and I was like, sounds like you guys. So, thanks. Okay fam, we've run out of time for this week's episode. I have literally been recording for like over 30 minutes. If you want me to do a shelves tour or talk about those apps and programs I use, I can do that too. Just let me know in the comments. I read every comment, so let it down there, or you can go ahead and tweet me. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I am so happy to give you this little brief studio tour. I am Trace, and you can find me all over the internet tubes. Just look for my name, Trace Dominguez, or you can follow me here on the YouTubes. You know, I would love that. Let me know if there is anything you think I should fix in this studio. Let me know if I should change anything. I promise we'll get to a shelf tour in the future, but for now, love y'all, and I'll see you in the future.